Cool. Thanks. Hello, everybody. I'm Jade. I'm a marketing manager at Thrive. So thanks for joining us tonight for the Careers in Women's Football event. Before we get started, I just kind of wanted to give you a little introduction to Thrive, because I'm assuming most of you have never heard of us before, didn't even know we was here. So we launched a year ago, and essentially what we do is we help young people who are aged 18 to 25 and claiming universal credit into employment, with a specific focus for those who are care experience, young offenders, asylum seekers. We also offer mentoring services and other services around like mental health, careers advice, CV skills. So we launched during the pandemic last year, and we're partnered with the Department for Work and Pensions. So basically what that means is that any young person aged 18 to 25 and claiming universal credit can now attend this kind of place rather than a local job centre, which is amazing. I don't know how many people have been in a job centre, but it's not the most welcoming environment. Whereas here it's more of like a tailored kind of service. So we work with some amazing job coaches. One of them's here tonight, that's Franz. And yeah, everything that we do here is for young people that live in Liverpool City region. Over the past year, we've probably had about 300, 400 people through the door. 29 of them have gone into full-time employment, which is an amazing stat compared to what's been going on with lockdown. And some of the young people that we work with came from care, ex-offenders, really disadvantaged communities, and here it's a safe space for them. So if they want to come here, they can have a coffee, they can get a laptop, Wi-Fi, and it's basically like a safe space in the city centre for anybody across Liverpool City region. So this kind of brings us into this evening's event. So what we do at Thrive is we stream career kind of events. So we've had Natasha Jonas, who's a professional boxer, Jane Webster, who's a singer from Liverpool. We've had Liverpool City Council CEO, loads of people streaming. And this evening, this is one of probably our third live events in terms of we've actually got people who are pretty much amazing. So firstly, I'm going to pass you on to Jackie, who is a director of Thrive, and then she's also the founder of Girl Fans, which is basically her academic research project all about championing women in football. And then you're also a fashion lecturer at Liverpool John Moores University.
Well, I never actually
So do you want to just tell us a little bit about Girl Fans, the motivation behind it?
Yeah. First of all, thank you. Nice to see everyone coming out on Monday, cold wet Monday night. I think before I get to that, I just want to say that director of Thrive sounds really important. And it is, but I think my role at Thrive is a supportive role. Which is kind of getting Thrive out there so people know about it, and using my network within Liverpool to kind of just amplify Thrive and their message. And that's why we're here tonight holding this event within the space. So director of Thrive, again, supportive role. My day-to-day job is teaching fashion communication at LJNU. And at my previous institution, back in 2013, I just started some academic research. Research can be part of an academic's kind of role. So we get a time every week to do some research. Really lucky to be able to do that. But in 2013, I've gone along to Anfield with my friend Alex Hurst, who's a fantastic photographer. Based in Liverpool, and we've gone along. We were going to the match, and I cannot remember why we went to the match on that day. I think it was to hang around, actually. 2013, we just hung around by the top. I was just observing kind of people walking around, and I think I can't remember what the original reason was for, but on the way home, we talked about how many women and girls were there. we just noticed there were a lot of women and girls, and it led to some questions around representation. It led to some questions around, who were these women? Why didn't I really know about them? Especially for me, coming from a family where myself and my brother were really into football, but my parents weren't necessarily. But it's something that you really can't avoid if you live in a city like this. So my brother and I were those sort of different supporters. So not having like a female within the family who went to the match or anything like that, I wanted to kind of find out more. So this is like, not far or nearly a decade ago. And I did a bit of research around statistics at the time, and it was like like 1 in 4 women in the 1 in 4 fans in the Premier League were women. So just kind of delving deeper into that, we just wanted to, at Anfield, we just wanted to kind of document the women and girls that were going that season to that game. And for us, it was quite an addictive process, to kind of go and hang out with those crowds and like be, kind of feel that excitement as Liverpool fans. Alex would say she was a Liverpool fan. And it was addictive, so we just kept going back. And towards the end of it, I got a little bit of funding from the university to print the work. So when you think about print now, you might have like different kinds of opinions on things, but really it was to mimic male fanzines. Yeah, so we put it in print. It was something that you could roll up and take away and put in your pocket. So once we'd taken like a season's worth of imagery, we made a fanzine, we made a zine, and it's just literally pages and pages of women and girls at the match, dressed in all different ways from all over the world. And it's just like a real slice of what a female fan looks like. So not part of like, obviously what was nothing to do with LFC. It was pretty much that was what was happening on the ground. And then that was 2013. I didn't publish it until 2015 for various reasons. And it was a slow, quiet start. It was. I don't even remember how we sold it, to be quite honest. But we went back to Anfield and we gave them out. And doing that, we actually did meet up with some of the people who were inside the scene. So it was really lovely. So if you think about it, it was really about visibility. It was like saying, we're here, we're kind of just ordinary people. Some it was their first game. Some were there for the hot dogs and the beer, somebody said. That's kind of your average person, maybe. Not average person, a person that might go to the game. And then some have been going for like 50 years. So along the way, we've been able to kind of find these stories of women that have attended. Well, the women that we found have attended like every final since '77. They're generally not, at the time in 2013, the women that you'd ever hear about. You would never have known that. You would never have known they existed. But there are lots of women that do that. There are lots of women that go to away games. They've been doing it a long time. Alex took the most beautiful photograph of someone called Olive, who was, I think, in her 80s at the time, who's now passed away. I mean, she'd seen it all. Those women have experienced it all, and obviously experienced a lot of sexism in their life, and God knows what else. And then the project continued, because obviously we've done Liverpool, have to do Everton. I could not have done like half of the city. So we did Everton in 2015. And by the time that issue came out, people were starting to kind of learn about it. And in 2016, the head of research at Manchester City got in touch, and we worked on a project with Manchester City. And then you can give me a red card if I'm talking too much. Give me we said yellow card. And it's just gone on since there. And it's quite interesting that I think the point of this is, and the point that kind of Bea said earlier on, which was so brilliant, was that you can contribute in your way if you're into football. You can contribute in so many different ways. Mine comes from a creative position, but it also taps into, a lack of equality, representation, all of those things. But it was a zine at the end of the day. And it's interesting to see how it travels. And so when I first wrote the funding bit, I said, it said who might be interested? Football clubs, sociologists, stylists, sports brands, and all of those people have acquired it during the last sort of 9 years. So it's gone on to other things, but it was a sort of a pre-Instagram boom, I'd say. So when I look at it now, like the idea of lots of fans wearing shirts is kind of like, oh, you see that all the time on Instagram. It's not a new thing, But I still continue with print because it's the way that you edit it and the story that you're trying to tell within a publication. So along the way, I've met loads of women who've contributed to football in their own way. And when I did the Burnley edition, the text British textile, they wanted me to cover the Burnley men's team, and I said, well, let's cover the men's and the women's team. So there's part of a shift somewhere where I thought, actually, why aren't we even why aren't we talking about women's football? And I'll hold my hands up and say that in 2013, 2014, when we started it at Anfield, there was such a lot of excitement because Liverpool almost won the league. But actually, the women's team won the league that year. So if anyone can cast, I know some of you were younger, if anyone else can cast their mind back to 2013, the women's team won that year. Yeah. And I don't remember anybody talking about it. And when Liverpool won the league, the women's team got relegated to the championship. Don't remember anyone talking about it. So I think it addresses things around women at the game and women playing football, and it's different around the country. Because I know in London there's a difference in just why I'm share with I was still red I was just finishing there. No question.
Okay, cool. And I did forget to mention at the beginning, we were supposed to be having Paige join us tonight, but she's got COVID. So she does send apologies for not being able to take it. So next, I'm going to introduce Rach, who is the founder of social enterprise. So can you tell us a little bit about that and about launching it during lockdown?
Hello. I'm some places here. So my football comes from my dad. So I was on the cop when I was 8-5. Whether I liked it or not, I was going to be a vet. Loved me on the cop, and that was me. So I've got a massive love for football. And I was in lockdown, and I was missing football, and I was missing talking to people live. I was missing playing the game. I'd regularly coached. I'd stopped doing that because we were all in lockdown. I was sitting there thinking, what can I do to put all my loves together? I've got a normal 9-to-5 job where I teach violence reduction to primary school kids. So I was teaching on Zoom, and then I had all this time, all this coming. I was like, what am I going to do? Got a ball in the back garden, there's so many keep-ups you can do until you ball again. So I was like, okay, football, clothing, mash them together, try and give something back to the group of women and girls teams that I've gone through in my life. So the grassroots basically. And I was like, I'll try and do something where I put together some clothing brands and possibly any profits that come back in, I'll try and give them back out to the grassroots girls that I know who I've grown up with, and the clubs that are close to my heart. And we know how hard it is when we're playing women's football. You've got to pay your sub, you haven't got that financial background if you're not in a big team. So I thought, okay, let's do it. So I sat there one day and just said, right, I'm just going to do it. Might as well go in, all in. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. And no one knows because I'm stuck in lockdown and no one knows if it's working or not. So we just put it out there. Decided I was going to do it. I was going to be an advocate for people who felt an equality within